Hope you forget about how wrong they were. But not Mackey and Judd with Rami. This is the big leagues where we own our terrible predictions.
Write this down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
It's Write That Down with Mackey, Judd, and Rami.
And we vowed to keep Rami's name on the intro here, at least until he's no longer competitive in the batting average race. And he's been competitive. He's been hanging around 400. He's back on the airwaves on the Score 670 in Chicago this week. I think it's round 2 of a tryout. So it'd be awesome. We're all rooting for our guy Rami to go. I think Chicago's where he was really born to spew sports takes. And Declan and I tuned in yesterday for a little while. And by the way, for those of you viewing on the screen here, you can find us in video form on one of our 2 YouTube channels, youtube.com/ScoreNorthMN. The other one is youtube.com/Purple Daily Podcast. And familiar face, John Harrison, our old friend from Score North and 1500 ESPN. You can find him on Score North Radio as part of the Loons broadcast. What's up, John?
How's it going, guys?
Well, we're gonna get to your problem in the batting title race here.
Oh, this is why you brought me on, just to slack me in the standings?
We did.
Wow. Yeah, Bobby got set up.
We're gonna give you an opportunity to pick some bowl games today, maybe. We'll see.
No, we're not. No, he was kidding. But never again.
So Declan and I were going back and forth on Slack yesterday, and he sends me a link. He goes, "Hey, you got to check out this segment that Rami's doing with Danny Parkins on the Score in Chicago." They literally did a 20-minute segment teaching one of their producers how to use chopsticks.
And it was embarrassingly
That was the
bad.
segment.
And it was hilariously entertaining.
The segment was good, but this poor dude can't use chopsticks, and they got 20 minutes
chopsticks
out of it.
Chopsticks are tough.
The thing is, too, Rami,
are they, though?
They're not. And Rami
I don't know how to use them.
Rami can't use them either. So, Rami was very adamant, I'm in the same boat as him, but luckily I'm not the one that's under the microscope right now. And then I was texting with him, too, and I'm like, Rami's this big food connoisseur. He can cook up any dish. I've been to his Super Bowl party. The dude cooks up so much food, and I'm like, you can't use chopsticks? Blows my mind.
Chopsticks are hard.
This is the great American. This right here is a microcosm of the great American divide right now. The people who can use chopsticks, the people who can't.
Here's why I don't like them, okay? The big thing in baseball is what now? Barrel up the ball, right?
Yeah, square it up.
Square it up, which means good contact because you get a lot of the baseball. Well, chopsticks, it's like bunting because you're only going to get a certain amount of food with chopsticks.
It's called portion control.
Yeah, who wants that?
You want a shovel.
John Bob and I are like, no.
Just let me shovel as much rice into my mouth as I can.
Thank you. It's rice. It's meant to be consumed with a lot of stuff in a huge spoon.
Yes.
You guys want someone to tilt your head back, pry your mouth open as wide as possible, and just pour rice down your throat.
I want my head at the proper launch angle every time that I get it.
You remember the old Looney Tunes cartoons where Bugs Bunny's jaw would drop when he would see food and just go down the floor? I want my jaw to drop when I see rice and just inhale all the rice possible.
That's why I love this.
I will say it is tough when you get toward the end of your dish and you're trying to pick up 3 kernels of rice with your chopsticks. It's all right. So anyways, this is Write That Down. We are the only sports show in America that makes predictions and keeps track of them with batting averages and home runs. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track, like I said, of averages and home runs. And if you want to be a guest listener participant on this segment, we are booked, I believe, through November. We have some openings in December. You can DM me on Twitter. Even if I'm not following you, you can sneak in and DM me at Phil Mackey, Mackey. And that's if you want to be part of the segment or if you just want to rip me. I've had people just slide into my DMs and rip me. And that's fine, too. You can do that.
Look at you.
Maybe I'll block you. I don't know. But John Harrison is going to be, he's taking the place of our guest listener predictors this week because we want to give him a chance to improve his batting average, let's say. We'll get to that in just a second here. Let's start off with, let me see if I can navigate this computer here. Judd Zolgad, you made some predictions.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm screwing this up here.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Judd, you said the Gophers will win their next 2 games and be 2-1 on the season.
Now, I can test that because I did not say which Gopher team. See, it was very smart.
No,
you're a nasty, nasty man, Phil Mackey. It's very nasty what you're doing to
Judd,
me.
if there was a Mackey and Judd write that down Supreme Court, we would deny
You're
this
nasty.
motion.
You're very nasty. I know what you're doing.
You did, however, say correctly that the Winter Classic would not be played on January 1st, 2021.
All right, I'll take this day.
Ago.
I'll take this.
So 50-50 for Judd there. John, you had nothing come off the board, which is good.
There we go.
Manny Hill said Odell Beckham Jr. would not be traded to the Vikings when those rumors were floating around. I think it was like maybe even 6 months ago. We waited till the trade deadline just to make sure. And indeed, he was correct. OBJ not traded to the Vikings. Rami also said he had an OBJ prediction. He said OBJ will be traded by the Browns, but not to the Vikings. He was not.
Oh,
It's incorrect.
What is going on?
That's a rough one for me here.
Wow.
all right.
Goodness.
I said OBJ would
Get my
catch
sunglasses.
a lot of bright red.
A lot
on
of
this
red.
one, yeah. I said OBJ will catch 100 passes with the Vikings in the next season. And I wanted this to linger till the trade deadline just in case he got hot in the second half as a Viking, but
Was that a home run prediction, by the way?
probably would have been.
That seems like a home run prediction. But a forced home run prediction.
It
is
was
what
not
I-
a forced one, no.
Oh, okay.
It was a homer home run prediction.
Okay, so it was not.
I
okay.
said Tua will account for at least 3 touchdowns in his debut. He accounted for 1. I said the Vikings would acquire a first or second round draft pick by next week's trade deadline. Inexplicably, they did not.
I was going to say, I think you were right. They were wrong. Unfortunately, it affects you.
And I said Aaron Rodgers would throw at least 4 touchdowns against the Vikings. Almost. He almost did. Got to 3. Rough week. Listeners, Brian said, now, in fairness, Brian said this after Kenta Maeda's hot start. Otherwise, this would have been a home run. But he said Kenta Maeda will finish top 3 in Cy Young voting for the 2020 season. Alex said Adam Thielen will not be traded. John T said the Gophers will finish 7-1. That comes off the board very quickly.
Whoops.
Seamus said a couple of these are cleanups from earlier in the year. Seamus said OBJ will be traded to the Vikings, and before the week 1 game, Judd will write an article blasting the trade.
I love all the Zolgad predictions.
Couldn't have done it either way, huh? Didn't happen.
Bryce had a multi-item parlay here. He said the Vikings will win the NFC North, which remains to be seen, but he said the Vikings will move Anthony Barr to defensive end, where he will have at least 7 sacks, and he will make Randy's stud stable a lot while he's out for the season. So that's not going to happen. Declan, you said the Vikings would acquire at least 2 more draft picks by the trade deadline. But you said Aaron Rodgers will account for at least 3 touchdowns against the Vikings, and he had exactly 3 touchdown passes, which brings the batting average rate to this. Judd Zolgad, 412, hanging on up top with 3 home runs. Rami still holding steady at 386 with a home run. Declan at 353 with a home run. I'm down to 278 with 3 bombs. Listeners at 220 with 2 home runs. Manny Hill up to 182. He surpasses John Harrison, who is at 176 with 2 home runs on the season.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
And so, John, we just wanted to give you a chance to square around, to bunt a couple of times, whatever it is. We want you to get above that Mendoza line. All right.
When have you known me to bunt?
That's a good point.
Never.
Or take the home run lead if you want.
Just don't predict ball games.
I'll
Won't
try.
have a problem.
I'll try for the home run lead.
Nice.
I like
It's the
where
only
he's
way.
going with this.
It's the only way I go in this segment.
A very Miguel Sano-like approach to write that down by John Harrison.
Write this down.
So here's how this works. We'll start with John. We'll go to Judd, Declan, back to me, Phil Mackey, and then we'll go around 3 times. They must be quantifiable. Everyone knows the rules. Last year's reigning, defending batting champion, John, you lead us off here.
All right, I'll start off with not a home run. The Loons will finish in what is considered a home playoff spot, 1 through 4. I won't say a home playoff game because we don't know if they're going to actually play playoff games inside a bubble or at home stadiums. So they'll finish 1 through 4 and win at least one of those playoff games.
Okay. So they'll finish with you're saying they'll finish with one of the top 4 seeds?
Yep.
And okay. Declan, you got that?
Yes, I do. John,
Okay,
I've been feeling your pain over the last 6 months, getting to write down all these predictions, especially from listeners who make crazy MMA predictions, and you and I both are fantastic spellers, so it's a great thing.
Wow.
That was always my favorite.
One of the
How do you
hardest
spell that
things that
name?
One of the hardest things that I do every single week is like trying to figure out previously John and now Declan's spelling in the Write That Down document.
Write this down. Write it down. You
Who's
like
worse,
writing things
Phil?
down.
Declan's worse.
It's
I was pretty bad with spelling.
Congratulations, John Bob. You won.
All right, over to Judd Zolgad.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Kirk Cousins will not be the Vikings quarterback on opening day of next season.
He stole one of mine.
Kirk Cousins will not, N-O-T, be the Vikings quarterback on opening day next season.
Injury loophole there too. If he like tears his ACL in training camp and Sean Mannion starts, you're still covered there. But I see where you're going.
I'm a
with
veteran
this.
of the game, baby. I'm a veteran of the game.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things
All
down.
right, back to Dex.
The Vikings will finish with at least 6 wins in 2020. So they're 2-5. They'll finish with at least 6 wins in 2020.
All right, solidifying the 11th overall pick.
That's right.
Perfect draft positioning to get the 5th quarterback off the board.
Or
Be
cornerback.
great. Yeah, or a cornerback.
Or a cornerback.
We riot if that happens.
Write that down.
Write this down.
All right, my batting average is kind of a disaster, so I'm actually gonna take a couple swings that I hope come off the board. These are just gonna be light, easy swings, working on my mechanics here. The Vikings will beat the Lions on Sunday.
Okay.
Actually, I take that back. The Vikings will beat the Lions in their next matchup. Veteran of the game. I just saw the San Francisco 49ers got shut down for their Thursday game.
Thursday night game might be off. It's a good idea.
Yeah. So the Vikings will beat the Lions in their next matchup. Write that down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Back to John Harrison.
This will come a year late for what many people thought. The Cowboys will fire Mike McCarthy and then trade a first-round pick to the Vikings for Mike Zimmer.
Yes.
Whoa! First round.
First
That's
rounder.
a great
Reckless speculation.
Only going home runs from here on out.
Wow.
Wow.
Push my chair back up to the counter here.
I love it. He walks up, knocks the dirt off his cleats, points to center field.
Yeah.
Points to Dallas.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, back to Judd.
John Bob going 455 with that blast in the catch.
Just
Whoa.
wait till the next
Minute
one.
drive.
Write that down. Prediction number 2 for me. The Twins will end up non-tendering Eddie Rosario. The Twins will end up non-tendering Eddie Rosario.
Yeah.
So he will walk away. They will get nothing in return for him, but they will not tender him a contract.
I mean, it's going to be really hard for them to trade him because no one's going to want to take like the $10 million that he would make in arbitration.
Free agency is
next year.
going to be brutal.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Trevor Bauer, there's going to be a plethora of talent out there.
But like, how does it make you feel? I think if you non-tender him, you just straight up get nothing for him. There's no
There's
backdoor to draft compensation.
There's nothing for him.
If he's a free agent and walks, you could at least offer him a qualifying offer and get a first round pick back.
Right.
He's been a good player for the Twins. He's led the team in RBIs. He's hit some home runs, and so to just let him go for nothing
is awful.
But
payroll is going to be a problem, though.
I think we're back to Declan here.
Yes.
Write this down.
All right. The Vikings are obviously hosting Adrian Peterson, the Lions. So AP will score at least a touchdown against the Vikings on Sunday. Adrian Peterson will account for a touchdown against the Vikings on Sunday. He only has 2 touchdowns on the year.
Famine, feast, Declan. Famine, feast.
AP will get a touchdown.
Run roughshod, stare up into the press box.
Yeah.
All you negative writers.
Yeah,
Write this down.
Block me on Twitter.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
A long time ago, I was very hurt by that. We were friends, I thought.
I'm going to square around again here. I just looking for a hit. Just looking for a hit.
Look at John Bob. He is so disappointed.
So
I got a lot of home runs on the board.
John Bob's just hitting bombs, and Phil's like, okay, here's a bunt.
The Gophers will pick up their first win of the season against Illinois. The Gophers will pick up their first win of the season against Illinois.
What, Phil? That was a ground out to second, and you got the guy to third, a productive at bat.
I actually think the way their defense is playing, this might be a home run.
You might not be wrong. More than 1,000 yards in 2 games, you might be exactly right.
Write this down.
All right, one more trip around the bases here. Jonathan Harrison.
All right, strap in, boys. Ready for this one? The Wolves will include their number 1 overall pick, or whoever they draft with it, in a trade with the Rockets for James Harden.
Whoa! Yes!
Longest of long shots, but I figured I might as well go deep.
I mean, they're looking for a third superstar.
Gerson Rosas likes his huge trades. Let's do it.
And Rockets players that he knows well. Wow.
Actually, here's another one. Here's another one to keep an eye on. Well, wait, I'll save. I've got one.
Are you going to do it?
I'll save it for. I'll go last. I'll wait my turn. I like where John's going here, though. All right, back to Judd.
Write this down.
You can't help yourself now, can you, Phil Mackey? I'll write that down. That will basically be very much like Declan's, but I'm going to take a different player. Everson Griffin will have at least 2 sacks on Sunday against the Vikings. Playing in his first game since being traded from the Cowboys to the Lions. He couldn't play last game because of COVID protocols. Everson Griffin, Declan, will have at least 2 sacks on Sunday against the Vikings.
Write this down.
So basically, all the former Vikings are just going to run roughshod, according to all your predictions here. Adrian, Everson.
I think Griffin might try and really, really smack good old Kirk.
Yep. Write that down.
Could see it. Back to Dex.
All right, last one here. The NHL season, which was some more thinking could start in January at some point, but I don't think there's any shot of that. So the NHL season will not start in January. There will be no regular season game played in the month of January.
Okay. The NBA is trying to come back on December 22nd. They want to come back Christmas week. And it sounds like the teams, like the 8 teams that didn't get to play in the bubble, so like the Timberwolves, are just jonesing like, hey, we haven't played forever. We'd like to get back. And teams like the Lakers are saying, hey, clowns. We just played into November, basically.
We just played last week, so we'd prefer not to play again on December 22nd.
If the season starts on December 22nd, can I give a bonus? Write that down. If this
sure, why not?
If the season starts on December 20, if the season starts in December, LeBron James won't play until February.
Okay.
Write that down.
Okay.
If the NBA season starts in December, LeBron James won't play until February.
Okay.
And here's the one I'm going to play off John Harrison.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
I love where you're going with this. I think
for LeBron, did you say February?
February.
Okay, thank you. I love this, John. I love this.
FEBRUARY.
I'm literally like trying to write down my own. I got Phil making impromptu extra predictions.
I'm sorry.
Hard work. Hard work in me.
You got
I
COVID?
knows it. I got I'm coming off.
You got COVID.
Spelling's
COVID
difficult, as we found out last night.
The world
COVID. COVID.
The polls say you're wrong, John Harrison.
And by the way, that's polls. That's POLES.
I love the fact it was the North Pole. North Pole, basically. Yeah.
All right, write this down. All right, so I agree with the sentiment.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
The Wolves are going to look to trade the number 1 pick. And I like where you're going with the Rockets connection. But the Rockets connection is no longer in Houston. Daryl Morey took a job reportedly for $10 million a year to lead the Philadelphia 76ers process.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a hyper 3-point obsessed general manager. And the main star of the Philadelphia 76ers does not shoot threes. Write this down. At some point, well, I'll just say before the draft, at some point between now and the start of the NBA season, just to cover my ass here. All right.
Okay.
The Timberwolves will trade the number 1 pick in a deal for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons.
Write it down. You like
true.
writing things down.
Ben Simmons, Karl Anthony Towns, and D'Angelo Russell, and those other 2 stars can shoot threes while Ben Simmons gets 15 assists every single night. The number 1 pick in a trade for Ben Simmons before the NBA season starts. Right.
See what you started, John Bob?
This is why you guys bring me on, to lure Phil into home run predictions.
Love it. In
Good
fact,
job.
if you could just come on, we'll just bring you on like once every few weeks just to swing from your heels and keep hope alive.
Should I bring corn dogs with too?
Oh, he's got corn dogs.
Yes. Yes. Always bring corn dogs.
Was there no stick on that corn dog?
No, there was. It was burned.
Oh. The corn dog connoisseur, the reigning, defending, write that down, batting average champion, and
the man who snookered us all,
and one of the voices
by allowing us to tell him, yeah, sure, go ahead, predict all the bowl games, you'll never get them right.
And one of the radio voices of Minnesota United Soccer with Dan Terhar. John Harrison, thanks for coming back on the show. We love you.
For having me, boys.
See you, dude.
And we'll catch you. We'll catch you tonight on Score North Radio. Wrap with Royce in a second here on Mackey and Judd.
Write this down.